Surfskates. You've probably seen people riding them around town or at your local park, doing insane carves, and wondered, why is everybody riding them? So in today's video, we look into the basics of the Surfskate, the history behind the brands, and I will share with you my experience with the Surfskate so that you can better understand why you need one. What is a Surfskate? But before, let's go back to see where it all started. The idea of the Surfskate was initially envisioned by Neil Carver and Greg Falk, two surfers from Venice, California, which during the summer of 1996 developed the first prototypes of what would later become the C7 trucks. A truck that set the basis for Carver skateboards, which was founded by Neil and Greg later that year. Although initially the Carver Surfskate trucks were not well received by the skateboarding community, through time, Carver established itself deep within the surfing community as a brand that would not sell skateboards, but rather a tool to bring the surfing world into the streets. You probably clicked on this video to learn more about Surfskates. So what is a Surfskate? Essentially, a Surfskate is just a skateboard with a front track that swivels. This is done to create a similar feeling to that of carving a wave. And although each company does this differently, they all attempt to emulate the feeling of surfing on land. Within Surfskate, there are two main categories, the surf trainers and the surf simulators. Within the category of surf trainers would fall brands that are more focused on training the strength of the surfer rather than simulating the feeling of surf. Here, brands such as Carver, Miller, or Slide would fall into this category. And on the other hand, brands such as Yo, Smoothstar, or Swelltech would fall under the surf simulator category. Although in today's video I won't go deep into how each company emulates the feeling of surf, I will explain the general design philosophy behind each truck. So the first brand we're gonna look into is Smoothstar, an Australian company which is highly focused on training the technique of their riders. These Smoothstar trucks definitely belong in the surf simulator category and are probably one of the most radical trucks out there in the market. Although not everyone would agree, Smoothstar is way up there in surf simulation as they emulate to a very high degree the feeling of surfing. Currently, Smoothstar only sells complete Surfskates, ranging from the 26-inch board for the smallest riders to the 39-inch Dolphin Cruiser longboard. So, if you're looking for a board to train your surfing technique, Smoothstar may be the right brand for you. But moving away from Smoothstar, another brand that's heavily focused on surf training is Yo. Yo is a brand from the north of Spain, which was founded in 2015, and in the last few years it has radically changed the surfskate scene. Yo is known worldwide for its beautiful boards and its radical rail-to-rail flow. In addition to this, I believe that they have one of the best surfskate rider teams out there, which are doing crazy tricks and setting the next level for surfskate. I have personally owned many Yos. My first board was a Yo, and I've seen a great evolution over time. My first board was very radical and unpredictable, but through time they evolved the concept into a smoother truck that still contains the same unique DNA from the first board, but it is more stable and predictable to allow riders to do heavier maneuvers, and I believe that they're the ones setting the trends within the industry. Both Smoothstar and Yo have radical trucks, but Swelltech just takes the concept of the Surfskate to a whole nother level. The Swelltech trucks have almost nothing in common with a conventional skateboard truck. Using a combination of springs, the trucks can tilt 60 degrees over the sides and are the only trucks that can rotate the full 360 degrees, which results in a very wild riding experience. Moreover, they have partnerships with pro surfers such as Jamie O'Brien or Austin King. Although I would not recommend the Swelltech trucks for any beginners as they have a very steep learning curve, I would consider them if you're looking for a board to train your cutbacks or to improve your balance on the surfboard. But moving away from surf simulators, we have Carver. Carver is easily the best recognized surfskate brand in the industry. As mentioned in the beginning of the video, Carver started off with the C7 trucks, but through time, it developed two more trucks, the CX and the C5. While the C7 uses a double-axis pivoting design, the CX and C5 use a single-axis bushing struck design. The single-axis bushing design is more stable and stiffer than the C7 trucks. This is great for training the muscle strength of the riders so that they can pump harder when they go out to surf. The C5 came as an evolution of the CX trucks that was targeted to riders that wanted to land big airs and other skateboard maneuvers while still having a skateboard that would carve properly. Overall, Carver is a legendary brand, and although their prices are high, you're getting a top-notch surf skate of great quality. Last but not least, we have Slide, a brand that was created by Surfskate, a legendary Spanish skateboarding company that was founded during the 60s and has been running for more than 50 years. Slide surf skates are a great entry-level surf skate as they offer quite a lot for a very competitive price. Slide surf skates fall within the surf trainer category as they don't get as close as other brands do to the surf feeling. Nevertheless, they're great for training the muscles as the strength of the spring can be adapted accordingly. This diagram summarizes the general perspective of the brands in the surf skate world. Note that I have not included all the surf skate brands out there. I've only included those that I have tested previously or those that I am familiar with. So to wrap up the video, I'll share with you my experience with the Surfskate and give you 3 reasons why you should own a Surfskate. The first aspect is the community. The community is relatively niche and new, or at least in my country, and thus you will mostly meet people that are just starting up. This creates a great learning environment where everyone helps out. Also, as there are not many surf skaters out there, every time a surf skater sees another surf skater, or at least me, I go say hi, and overall the community is very welcoming. We do lots of events, gatherings, and through that I met so many great people, I made friends, and overall it's a great place to learn. Another great aspect of surf skating is innovation, and like other sports such as skateboarding, where everything has been pretty much invented, surf skate brands are still developing and releasing new trucks every so often. So it's a very exciting time to form part of this community, and I really cannot wait to see what the future has in mind for us. Last but not least, and I think that it is the most important aspect, is that surf skates actually work. I've been riding them for the last 5 years, and as a surfer that lives about 4 hours from the nearest coast, surf skates have helped me to maintain my shape and even improve my surfing technique in between seasons. So that's all for today. Today's video was only on the basics of the Surfskate, but we're planning on doing tutorials, comparisons, and more Surfskate reviews. So if you're interested in our Surfskate content, make sure to subscribe below. And yeah, stay stoked and see you next time.